Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where today we are going to do a healthy breakfast. And this follows along with those of us who are working really hard on our individual food plan. All of these recipes that are going into my cookbook that I'm working on are very high in nutrient density, which means that they are low in calories and high in nutrition. And this breakfast is no exception. Now, I have kind of a funny story for you. Okay, so this particular breakfast, and this is going to be our orange marmalade stuffed French toast, which I talked about in our last video when we made orange marmalade, is an overnight thing. You do it the night before, cover it with foil, put it in the fridge. The next morning you pull it out and bake it. Well, and so we did that. We videoed that last night. I put it together. And when we were all done videoing, Jim handed me the little card, because then I just take it right into my computer and start editing. Well, Jim also brought home a bag of corn chips yesterday. He was fixing dinner, going to fix us some hamburger patties. And so I just reached into the bag and grabbed a chip. And we got to talking, and I ate the chip and had something in my hand. And while I was not focusing, my brain thought that this card in my hand was a chip. So I put it in my mouth and crunched down on it. Totally ruined the entire card. And we tried everything. And so this morning, I'm sorry, honey, I feel so silly.
It happened.
We have plenty of cards, so for Jim's camera, but still, that was just I was just not paying attention. So we're going to have to redo that part of the video. So I'm all set up to do the first part of the video. Then what we're going to do is to get this one out to the refrigerator for about 8 hours, and we'll cook it later tonight. Meanwhile, the one that we did yesterday in the video that got ruined is ready to go this morning. So we'll bring that one in and go ahead and bake it and continue on. So life goes on. Oh, and don't forget our big birthday bash book sale. It starts at 8 a.m. Mountain Time on the 3rd and goes until 5 p.m. Mountain Time on the 5th. As I mentioned, this recipe is one that I'm still working on, which is why I'm not going to make a printed copy available. But I am going to speak in the video what the 6 ingredients are and the amounts. So if you want the recipe, you can write it down as we go. But just know I might be making adjustments before it actually comes out in the book. I have all of the ingredients here. As I mentioned, it is 6 ingredients is all. So the first thing that we're going to do is take 5 eggs and just put them right in the blender. And a cup of milk. And this is whole milk. And we're going to set that aside for a moment. I'm going to rinse this. I have done the nutrition facts on this recipe, and it is only 338 calories with about 20 grams of protein. So the nutrient density is fabulous on this. And so here is a cup of cottage cheese that I have ready to go. And to that cottage cheese, I'm going to add a half a cup of orange juice, and a half a cup of our orange marmalade that we made in our last video. We're just going to measure by displacement here. I hope to have a half a cup here, but I have another one on standby in case I need to open it. And we do. And those two things go right with the cottage cheese. We're going to mix these together. All right, then we are going to take a loaf of whole grain bread, and I made this yesterday morning. It is the whole grain bread recipe that is in our bread book. I made it exactly according to the recipe. It is made mostly of white winter wheat, freshly ground flour, and then some quinoa, both whole grains. So I'm going to cut 4 slices of this bread. And I am going to slice 2 into cubes. This is a 9x9 pan, spraying it liberally with cooking oil. And I'm going to sprinkle these in the bottom in a single layer. And I leave the crust on. I'm sure you could cut the crust off if that would be your preference, but it's not my preference. I love the color and the nutrition that is in that crust. Okay, spread those out as evenly as possible. And then here is our filling. And we're going to just sprinkle this on the top. Not sprinkle, we're going to pour it on the top and spread it around as evenly as possible. Oh, it smells so good. I can smell that orange from our marmalade. All of these ingredients are very high in nutrient density, except the marmalade. And it's low sugar because we made it with Pomona's pectin. And then cutting these 2 into cubes. This goes together very, very fast. And normally I would be doing this about 10 o'clock at night. And these go over the top. Now this serves 4, so just imagine 1/4 of this pan, which is certainly adequate for either Jim or my breakfast. Again, a single layer. Then we're going to do the eggs with the milk. Get it nice and frothy, and then that just goes over the top. So that's what it looks like going into the refrigerator. I'm going to cover it with foil. I'm going to turn the oven on, get it preheating. This refrigerator is still dead as can be, just sitting there like a big lump of useless metal. And so So we have the other one that we did last night out in the refrigerator. So I'm going to go put this one in the refrigerator and bring the other one in, and we'll come back when we're ready to put it in the oven. We'll take a peek at it before we do. The oven is ready now, so we're just about to put this one in. We'll look at it in just a second. I did want to just share, I printed this off of my book draft, and for the nutrition facts, there is a place online, several actually, that I can go and put the exact ingredients of any recipe and then tell how many servings it's going to be. Like this one is 4 servings. And then it calculates the nutritional facts for me. And that little table is going to be right with every single recipe. So you will be able to, if you purchase the book and look at these recipes, you will be able to know just exactly what you are eating. So I'm going to do just the 3 macronutrients and then a couple of the micronutrients. So calories, 338. Total fat is 9 grams, which is 12% of, and it's calculated on a 2,000 calorie a day diet. And carbs is 45 grams, which is 16%. Protein is 19.8. So it's pretty solid with nutrition. Vitamin D is over 200% of the daily requirement. Calcium is 24%. Iron is 12%. Potassium is 5%. And it has 7% fiber. So it's really a good nutritious recipe. Let's take a look to see what this looks like after it was in the refrigerator overnight. Okay, look at that. The bread is wet. It's absorbed all of that milk and egg that we put in there. So, and you can see the filling through the cracks of the bread. Let's put this back on and get it in the oven. The oven is at 350 and we're going to go for about 25 minutes. I'll take the foil off for about the last 5 to 10 minutes so that those tops can brown. So we'll be back when it's ready to come out. All right, here we go. It is just out of the oven. Some of the bread is a little bit toasted. Others stayed pretty soft. The egg and milk mixture has congealed. And so now we're going to cut it in its 4 pieces. It's 4 servings. And we're going to try it out. Seems to be a little bit juicy in some places. So we'll see how this works. The idea of this is that because of the filling, you won't need to put syrup or jam or butter or anything else on it. Jim suggested that we could cover it with some sprinkled cinnamon, which might work. I'm going to dish his up as well. And then we will give it a taste. It really smells good. So any food that you add to this is going to add more nutrition, more calories, more of everything. So I'm going to taste it just exactly plain to see what we've got here. So I have a little bit of everything in this bite. It is very pleasant. It is not a knock your socks off kind of a recipe. It's very pleasant. The orange marmalade taste is strong. The bread is very soft. It would be a very nice breakfast. So I'm going to think about this recipe a little bit. I love the low calories on it right now. I don't want to do much to change it. But if you try it and have a suggestion, let me know in the comments, and I'll consider that for the finalized recipe. Meanwhile, we're going to enjoy this breakfast. Jim may put some syrup on his. I'm going to eat mine just plain so I can preserve those calories. So thank you for going through this experimental recipe with us. We appreciate you so much, and good luck to all of us. Press forward on our weight, and we will check in very soon. Thanks, and we'll see you at our next video.